Welcome into another Tuesday night evening blend. I am Pop Blender, and with me is Matthew Matson. You lucky son of a gun. Let's go right there. Mine's on the way. And my cousin, he actually messaged me and said they had him at the Target right down the street from me.
Of course. I
And of
told
course,
you,
I was at
man.
work.
Yeah. I love both looks. These guys, the more standard ones, and you can strip them down to make them look like a denizen, and then fully battled up, armored look. It's pretty wicked. I'm going to have lots of fun with these guys.
I bet you are. I can't wait for that one. I'm hoping that one's pretty sweet. Seems pretty sturdy to you.
Oh, no, it's a solid figure. Yeah, no, definitely.
No Nemesis Immortal then.
Yeah, no,
Thankfully.
no. None of this ones that, he can't stand or anything like that.
Yeah, shake him around. Oh,
Not that. Look, his wings are flapping.
it's my it's my biggest disappointment. biggest disappointment. You almost use it as a shake weight, actually, if you really want to. Anyway, so yeah, welcome in, you guys. We'll get started here and we'll work our way through this beautiful Tuesday evening. It is currently 75 degrees in Nashville, Tennessee, and it has got me all kinds of messed up in the sinus department, but it is beautiful, man. It's 71 is the low tonight. I'm digging this, man. This is my kind of March right here. But hopefully the weather's pretty good wherever you guys are at. Like Stanley, wanting to talk some football. I'd love to talk football. My son keeps trying to convince me to do a NFL channel or a football channel.
Why do you want to talk football? It's March Madness. It's time for the tournaments to start and the brackets to get built so we can have our March Madness playoffs. I know nothing about basketball.
Well, and even though I do, I have fallen out of love with basketball. Used to love the NBA, but we grew up in a time of Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan. Just don't care about the game and the personalities today. I think these guys today are extremely soft.
Did you see John Cena's ESPY Awards speech?
No. I probably have. It's just I probably have forgotten about it. You talking about the one where he came out naked? What was that?
No. He was in a suit, and he says, "Now, why did they hire a WWE guy to come out here and do this for sports people?" And then he started making all the correlations between the scripted events in WWE and the scripted events in professional sports.
I love that.
The media creating the heel persona for certain people, and
yep. Nope. I absolutely love that, to be honest with you.
It was pretty good.
Some people really feel that way, especially if you gamble.
Well, I mean, if you follow the trends in Vegas, you can see that there are people that predicted exactly what happens. And you're like,
And they're very good at it. That's all I'm going to say. They're very, very good at it. So, Stanley, I'd love to pivot to that. It is interesting. There was a big trade that went down yesterday in the NFL. And, from a player from the Raiders to the Ravens. And the Ravens backed out today. And that's very unusual. And there's really not a clear-cut reason why, but this is one of the best players, one of the best pass rushers in the league. And so it is a big deal, but probably not for most of the people, or maybe some of you. I see a lot of you guys actually like football. So, but yeah, my son definitely wants me to do that. I'm like, well, then you'd have to do it with me, and he agreed. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do that as a father-son team, a little football talk. Shane, Same Time Toys, what's going on? Trying to get together. Is that your Marvin Gaye? Oh no, that's your Four Non Blondes. How dare you? How dare you conjure up that image of that chick with that big freaking hat on her head? Oh God. that thing played in nonstop rotation.
Oh yeah,
back in like '91 or whatever when it
well,
came out. Holy
hey,
Jesus.
with Scream 7 and Scary Movie 6 out this year, with Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. I mean, we are back in it.
Aren't we?
Yeah.
They're dipping way back in the memberberry.
No, they're playing to the people that have the money to go see movies.
Well, that's true. That's very true. Let's see. Clint is in the house. What's up, Clint? Hopefully the Cowboys get Crosby. There you go. Hopefully the Cowboys get Crosby. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. They haven't done a lot. Cowboys haven't done a lot, but we'll see. Let's see. Triple D's Toy Dungeon. What is up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Always. And Sabir sliding in up in our DMs. 3-star draw sliding in our DMs. Sabir said, "What did that cost at pre-order time? What is he? The Cobra Law guard was
what he was
$43.99 or something.
Yeah,
like yeah. I'm trying to remember what the price, after tax cost was for me.
Yeah, that's the retail price.
Yeah, retail. Todd C, what's up, buddy? Tony's Figs is here as well. Tony, hope you got time to listen and hang out for a little while he's probably customizing something.
Well, since they don't have time changes in his state, he's feeling all special this week because he didn't have to set back a clock or nothing, like the rest of us who actually voted to get rid of the time change thing, and it just they won't let it actually happen. I can't figure out why.
Same here. Every time it gets brought up, and I don't know about those of you that live in a state with the time change, but
we had 86%. We had 86% support, and it still wouldn't go through.
Really?
Yeah. So it passed our House, but it didn't pass our Senate because the senators just said no.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I felt that hour the other morning, Sunday morning.
Yeah, Tony, we know you were late.
Oh, well, yeah. Hey, straight to the Marvin Gaye. Absolutely, buddy. Trust me.
Yeah.
If you watch the Sunday night stream that I did, I listed all the things I love.
Oh.
And there are soul, R&B artists, funk artists in there, definitely. Let's see here.
I'd have to go look that up. He was talking about Nemesis Immortal.
Who's that?
When he was asking about the price for the guy.
Oh, yeah. Nemesis. My bad. I thought. Yeah, no, I don't know. I can't remember. The 3-star may very well remember. He might put in the chat. William Emery is here as well. What's up, Will?
Yeah, we talked about it not too long ago on a different stream, but he was kind of that price range because he was an exclusive type of figure.
Yeah. They passed it in California too and didn't do it. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
It's weird, but every time it gets brought up here, everybody's like, absolutely, let's pass it. And then it doesn't happen. And I really don't know why it won't pass. Like, I don't fully grasp the concept of it. I looked it up, Googled it a while back, why was it created, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And it doesn't
it doesn't
make
match.
A lot of sense.
No, it doesn't make a lot of sense at all. Nemesis Immortal was $45.
Okay.
$44.99 plus tax.
Huh. I don't know. Maybe they charged a little more for all that wobbliness.
It was an exclusive figure, so it wasn't.
Yeah, that's right.
It was a little bit different. This is the first Cobra Law figure that's been general release, so there should be plenty of them out there for people.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not even thinking about it just off the top of my head. Bobby Wool, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? And they have yet to release a standard release Baroness, unless you count the movie one, which nobody does.
Yeah, right.
All other Baronesses have been exclusives.
Yeah, I guess so. Man.
Cobra Island for the cycle. Walmart Retro Card was an exclusive at the time. The Crimson one was a con exclusive, and then the Rattler. So,
your memory is quite impeccable. 99.9% of the time. Occasionally, something might slip through the 5-hole, but and that's a hockey reference for those hockey fans out there. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Yeah, deluxe figure price point. Bobby says, yeah, Royal Guard is deluxe. Otherwise, he'd just be a guard. That's a good point, Bobby.
I'm with just about everybody else though. I could have done without the blue heads. I don't need
really.
I mean, unless I'm going to strip off all the armor and make Cobra Law denizens, and then I would need a whole lot more, but I don't.
Okay. Speaking
Not
of
unless they
denizens,
go on clearance, like deep clearance.
speaking of denizens, one Paul Chato. If you guys aren't subscribed to Paul Chato,
he's awesome.
Chato. Paul Chato did a fantastic rant video about Star Trek. It is really, really good. But he greets his audience with "Hello, denizens of the internet," I think. But he's fantastic. Paul Chato, he's a comedian.
He's a Canadian. He's a Canadian comedian and a producer, showrunner type of guy. He was a former network executive who made a lot of these decisions back in the day for some Hollywood stuff too. But he is mostly Canadian stuff.
He's hilarious, but again, if you care about Star Trek, or you kind of on the peripheral with what's been going on the last decade or so, you should watch his most recent rant on it. It's pretty damn good, and he's
good.
On point with a lot of it. Daylight savings time, primarily introduced to conserve energy and fuel for the war effort during World War I.
See, why'd you put an S on there? You put an S on there. Why?
What?
It's daylight saving time. It's not a sale. They're not selling daylight.
Maybe they were. Maybe they are now.
No, they're just
since
selling
everything
lies.
else, since you've got to pay out the nose for everything else these days, they might as well sell daylight. We wouldn't have any savings. Okay, so there you have it. It was an energy crisis, not a agriculture thing.
Well, you know what? It depends on the day, and when you type that question in, and how you type that question in, to what kind of an answer you get.
Okay. Fascinating. Tariff on time though, says Stu for lunch. Yeah, they'll put a tariff on daylight saving time. I sell my daylight for $3.50 like this monster.
Then it would be savings if we put a tariff on it, because the government's taking revenue from it. So
maybe it could pay for our income taxes.
Hey, that was the plan, right?
I know. I talked about it Sunday night, but or maybe last Sunday. Who knows? It's like that'll never happen.
3-star, you need a whole lot more sunlight, buddy. You don't need to sell off any of that daylight. You need that vitamin D and what it does for your brain, buddy. Yeah, I mean, you need a little bit more of that.
Wow. Holy moly. Oh my gosh. Okay, I tell you what, we'll get into so our usual site that we use for the current box office numbers is down. It's under maintenance. And so we're gonna go to Box Office Mojo. Stu, hang on real quick. Stu, what was the Justin Timberlake movie with time on their arms? Oh crap. You remember that movie?
Yes.
What was that?
There were actually like 2 of them that came out around the same time.
I think you're right. Timberlake movie, time on the arm, because they're running out of time, right?
Yeah, and they're gonna explode or whatever.
It's called In Time. You stop aging at 25, and then it counts down the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's a remake of Logan's Run, sort of.
Yes. Dang. Okay. Good pull, Stu. Good freaking pull. Okay. Tree Fitty buys a lot of supplements. Damn it. You know what? I actually need to talk to Cuz here. Maybe, well, probably not afterwards, but yeah, I don't know. I can't remember how good that movie was. I do remember it though. Okay, let's
Justin Timberlake. It wasn't that good.
I did like him in. Wasn't he in Friends with Benefits? Mila Kunis.
Yeah, probably.
That movie was pretty funny, actually.
Well, but that's also him not trying to really act. That's him
true.
Kind of being him, and that's fine.
That is true. Yeah, you're right. It was him kind of. Which, hey,
yeah,
it works.
It works.
You know, That's what people are saying about Ryan Gosling in this Project Hail Mary. Actually, they're saying that for a lot of the movie,
He's just
especially
being Ryan
the
Gosling.
spaceship part, he's being
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling. Whereas when
Yeah.
he's on Earth, he's actually playing a character. So it's an interesting kind of, you know, what
Hmm.
they're saying about him and his part. We'll get into that because the early reactions are out for Project Hail Mary.
Yep.
Okay,
Can't
so
wait to see that.
Hoppers, good old Hoppers, Walt Disney animated film. It is 48 mil in the bank domestic.
So I had
Uh,
a friend who saw it today,
okay, okay,
and he and his wife and his infant daughter went to go see the movie, and they were the only ones in the movie theater.
damn. Okay,
I mean, it's a Tuesday.
well, yeah, I mean that makes sense. But a lot of kids are on spring break, man. A
Yep.
lot of people are on spring break. This movie's under a little controversy for
Yep.
what I think a lot of people are looking into it.
Yep.
Um, and I talked about it a little bit. Showed the trailer on Sunday. I believe we talked about it a little bit. It's I don't know, man. I mean, I guess we'll see. Like I said, as kids are in spring break, we'll
Yeah.
see if this thing kind of bumps up. But it's 90 mil worldwide.
I think
And,
the word's out on that one, and I think just from the trailers alone, people that are watching that are actually paying attention, they're not going to let their kids see that one. So
and we watched the trailer, during the stream, and
yeah.
it wasn't funny. I mean, there was
Well,
nothing like interesting
it's
or differential about it than anything else that they put. Like, not really.
it's not only not funny, but if you're paying attention to what they're actually discussing and talking about doing, is not a topic that you want to have discussed with your kids, not necessarily at young ages,
Do you know the
right?
first thing that people were saying about when we looked at the trailer? The first thing that came out of people's mouths were furry movie. that was that was it. I mean, it's kind of overt,
Yeah, but
environmental messaging.
it's not just that. It's that human beings are the worst thing that ever happened to this planet. We need
Right,
to destroy all of them and go back to the Stone Age
right.
and defy and destroy authority at
Now
all
that's
costs.
not a concept that it's a concept that's been used a lot, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you have people who are that kind of doomsday or that
You
thought
know,
process, right? And,
Bill
and
Gates,
movies and
George
shows,
Soros.
yeah. I mean, movies and shows have been made around that kind of theme. It's just animated. I mean, of course, I guess we could look at the what's the Dr. Seuss,
Oh, the Lorax.
the Lorat, right? I mean, that's an environmental message,
Yeah, but
Dr. Seuss book.
that is a true environmentalist protection type of movie versus all humans are bad type of
Well,
movie.
that's true. I mean, different messaging. 610
Yeah.
Yo Joe Daddy says, smash the like button, y'all. And that means punch it with your fist right now. Punch your phones. What's up, Yo Joe Daddy? Good
Hey,
to see
I
you,
I
man.
always I always say lick the like, but I mean,
Ooh, I like that. I like that. I know I've had to have heard you say that. But maybe it kind of, maybe I blocked it out of my mind at the time. But I actually do kind of like that. Nolan, how you doing, man? Yeah, it that's lick the like. Okay,
for all
hey,
you window lickers out there.
works for me. Well, I don't want any window lickers watching this show. All right, no window lickers. Lord have mercy, there's too many of them. Scream 7 at number 2. For those of you that are
Yeah.
Scream fans, I did talk to somebody today who went to go see it,
What do they think?
a couple, and they liked it. Now,
Yeah,
I will
I've heard
tell
good
you,
things.
when I do talk to them a lot of times about various movies that we talk about, they do like a lot of what some of us nerds will call normie stuff.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's okay.
that's
It's like that's
perfect.
what, I think most things are designed for is the general audience, and they're definitely general audience.
Yep,
And
that's who
so,
goes to see the most movies.
exactly. And, Scream 7, I mean, can you believe we're at 7 of these movies? That's what I guess is fascinating to
So,
me.
so I just watched one of my other Into Darkness documentaries. The 95 to 99, and they just won't stop talking about Scream and Scary Movie, and how Scream really changed the horror film industry at all in the 90s.
It injected it with, it was a
Yeah,
good
it
different take on a
revitalized it.
slasher, right?
Yeah.
Like it brought that back in, but with a little bit of, twist. And you're right, it really did revitalize that part of the industry for sure.
Yep.
Because then there was a lot of copycats, right? A lot of copycats, which is what always happens. It happened in
Sure.
the 70s with the slasher films, right? And
Yep.
you get the copycats. But yeah, I mean, it's doing well. I mean, shit, 94, domestic here is fantastic. Yeah, Bobby, we're, the Doomsday movie. I can't wait to go through this. Now, for those of you that are very sensitive, ultra sensitive about plot leaks and stuff like that, there is
We'll
some.
talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit, but there is some stuff in there that you may not want to hear if you're, like I said, if you're super sensitive to that stuff. But I think it's fun to go through.
Yep.
And let's see here, The Bride, an absolute disaster of a feminist wet dream film about the Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah, her
I guess you could say.
commentary, the director's commentary on why she made this movie and all this other stuff.
It's
If you look at
Maggie Gyllenhaal is
and if you
the
look up the
director.
statistics, there's a reason why that has happened. And it will
Well,
continue to happen. And she's not helping the cause at all by making this movie that no one wants to see.
well, you would think Christian Bale would be a draw for people for The Bride, but the content of the movie
Well,
itself is it's
and
really goofy, man. I actually went through the whole plot
yeah,
synopsis
yeah.
and watched all the way through it and kind of a
So
lot of the scenes, and it's a very strange,
when you look at the
stupid film.
trailers on the outset with Christian Bale and the other actors in the
Hmm.
movie, they make it look like it's going to be one thing.
Right.
But then when you watch the movie, it's totally something else. And they did something, and Mahler pointed it out today too, that should have been a stop, do not pass go. We are not making this movie if you're going to do this. And that is, you bring Mary Shelley into the context of this movie. It's like, no, just no.
And most reviewers I've seen don't care for it, but they've also said maybe it's time to kind of put a lid on the Mary Shelley adaptations at this point. We got the Frankenstein movie,
I mean, we've had over 200 of
yeah,
them,
it's
and
like, yeah,
it is a forever story, right? The concept of the story is a brain worm, right? It will be forever in the zeitgeist of human culture, and it will always be a part of it in some form or fashion. So they will always be retelling it in one form or another. It's just we've had a lot of them recently, so we just need to hold on,
yeah,
time out. Let's focus on something else.
yeah. And since the Guillermo del Toro movie did so well that it was so well liked,
Yeah.
I think this one kind of coming on the heels of that one. Just contrasting the two movies.
As long as no one thinks that these two are connected,
Right.
everybody's fine.
Right. Well, I don't think anybody's going to if they see it. If they've
If they,
seen
yeah,
both. And by the way, they spent $90 million to make this movie, and
yeah,
worldwide it's got about 13 mil. So that gives you an idea of how well liked it is, so to speak.
yep,
Yeah, the Frankenstein Guillermo movie was fantastic.
yeah,
Absolutely
and
fantastic.
and I will tell you, same time, Shane, uh, I love that movie also. And up until this point, that one was my favorite, and I'm still kind of torn between Guillermo del Toro's and this one because both of them tell aspects of the story that I really do like. The bride portion of the one that you like, I'm not a big fan of, but it is also closer to the book as to what happened with the bride. But like I said, I like them. Like those two are the most faithful Frankenstein stories to the novel.
Yeah, that's that guy's name is on Aaron Eckhart.
Yep.
Yeah, Aaron Eckhart.
Thank you
Yeah.
for smoking. That's still my favorite movie of his.
Oh wow, yeah. Holy crap, dude.
That movie's
That
so good.
fantastic. Okay, The Goat number 4, Wuthering Heights number 5, coming in at well, 6, 7. What did I just do there? These numbers are strange. But the Elvis Presley
Yeah.
in concert, which I like to see personally. I
Yeah.
think that's cool. A lot of the footage, I wanted to go see it in IMAX and I missed it, and then I want to go see it at the theater. I think it gets pulled on Thursday,
Okay.
but I've seen most of this footage. A lot of it is culled from two different movies, concert movies that he made, and so I've seen like probably 99% of the footage, and I mean hundreds of times. So I may still go try to make time to go check it out Thursday. I'm off Thursday, so Crime 101. I can only imagine too. Wow. They're doing a sequel to the hit song. Um, Send Help, and then Demon Slayer. I don't even want to pronounce other than Infinity Castle. 734 million worldwide.
Kimetsu no Yabi.
God bless you. I'm sorry, what? Do you need a tissue?
Hey, you're the one suffering from allergies right now.
I know. Yeah, I am. It's bad too. Herman Munster is my favorite version of Frankenstein, says Clint. That's fantastic. That's great. Yeah, Shane, that Elvis movie, if that is in fact what you're commenting on, yeah. I definitely, at least from a sound perspective in a theater, I think would be a lot of fun to check out. So there's your mojo. Yeah, I don't box office mojo. I don't know. It's I like the numbers, but
Yep.
they are under maintenance. Did you want to take just a peek at the Project Hail Mary early reacts?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm dying to see this movie.
Just to see. I think most people in the industry are really liking the movie. Some calling it derivative of other space movies, sci-fi, like Interstellar, for instance. It is being billed as a feel-good movie, a heartwarming movie. And you probably will see the phrase "the movie we need" right now used in some of these reviews. 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think Metacritic has it at a 79 right here. But it seems like for the most part, people are really digging it. It doesn't take itself too serious.
Yeah. It's Ryan Gosling.
I haven't read the book. Okay, I have not read the book.
I have.
And I know that you have. So I'm going to be really curious to hear, your take on it. But just to get an idea, I mean, you can see here, a sci-fi dazzler that doesn't signal great things for the future of cinema. And that's 4 out of 5 stars, by the way.
So
that's
look,
4 out of 5 stars, and that's from The Independent. That's their reviewer.
Yeah, these people have their heads so far up their butts. Look, you like it or you don't. You can't predict what Hollywood's going to learn from it or not, because Hollywood tends to learn the wrong lessons from these things. And if they make a faithful adaptation to the book, then we're going to have another hard science fiction movie that has a premise that is maybe not as far out there today as it was yesterday.
Right.
And coming forward and telling a hard science fiction story. It's not as hard sci-fi as The Martian was, but it's in the same vein because it's the same writer. Now, I was not impressed with his Artemis book, but this one I was. This one I was very much engaged with. And I know that they've got to make adaptations and change things for the movie to put it on screen. But I'm curious to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, I want to see it because I like the premise. I like sci-fi movies. I like, outer space movies, of different ilk.
And it's going to be better than anything Alex Kurtzman has talked about with Star Trek. So
right.
His award ceremony speech that he gave for an award that he deserves not to even be touching.
Right.
And he gave a pedantic speech about modern politics and stuff, and it's like that's not what Star Trek was about. Philosophical, scientific concepts put into storytelling, and what he's doing is garbage. So,
Well, to give a little bit of a rundown of some of these reviews, kind of grouped together from Deadline, a movie made in italics for IMAX, entertaining, engaging. Then you have Empire, giving it 4 out of 5 stars, very watchable, old school blockbuster, crowd pleaser. USA Today, the first great movie of 2026. I don't think that's any stretch, right? Right, probably. But says Ryan Gosling is superb. The BBC, 4 out of 5 stars. It's a little long at 2.5 hours, but says it manages to be zippily entertaining throughout, without a lot of action. For one, that's what I think people need to know going into this film, is that there are certain moments, things that have to be solved, puzzles of sort of, I guess you could call them that, but it seems to be like a pretty good pace for a movie that doesn't have just an action set piece every several minutes. IndieWire says Ryan Gosling goes full Martian. The Telegraph, 4 out of 5 stars. Great fun, flashy practical effects, heartwarming story. That's pretty much what you've got with most of these reviews, really. It looks great. It is Lord and Miller who did the Lego movie.
So I am hopeful based on that and the story material. It's no Ridley Scott, and there's a couple things that happen in the book, and I really wonder how they're going to try and pull that off in the movie when you've pretty much given away so much in the trailers. So
yeah, that's the only thing I hate. I wish they had saved some of the discovery in the trailers. I think we'd all agree trailers give way too much stuff away. They have for years now, and I think people are, really tired of it. I wish that they would get I wish there was a trailer house out there, because a lot of times these trailers get cut by a couple different places that specialize in that.
Or they specialize in making music videos, like the Suicide.
Right. And I wish that they would find somebody, or there was someone out there, or a studio that came out and really was able to change the way these studios companies think about marketing their movies. I would love to see that. But pretty good reviews, a little long, so be prepared to sit through a 2.5 hour movie.
Yep.
And if there's not a lot of action, and that's something that you crave out there, it might not be for you, but it is a feel good movie. This is not, the kind of movie that, I think Interstellar in a way, also I can see, The Martian also in that vein, right? Obviously from the same writer, but yeah, so I'll be curious, man. I know you're really wanting to see this. I definitely want to see it. So, and like I said earlier, from a book, let's see. Okay, Dreadnought. I'm gonna give you fair warning right now. We're gonna keep this conversation to what we're talking about on the stream. If you can't do that, then I'm gonna have Matthew yank you. All right, that's my one warning. All right, so let's move it right along here. I do have a few things. You sent me something interesting.
Which one? I sent you a bunch of stuff.
So you did. You sent me a lot of stuff, but I wanted to share this because I don't know if anybody knew about this. Netflix's animated Ghostbusters film titled Ecto will be from a ghost's perspective.
Yep.
I would love that. It says here that it's supposed to be titled Ecto, told from a ghost perspective. Let's see, got a link in the comments, and that's where I wanted to go. I wanted to pull this up here. Turk Murphy, what's up, buddy?
What's up?
Okay.
Yeah,
been known for some time. Both a movie and series are in the works. Specific details are vague, but that's kind of the perspective. And I wanted to ask you what you thought about this from that particular perspective.
Yeah, I don't think this is anything that anyone needs. I don't really particularly care about the ghost's perspective on things. I don't know how they could make it really engaging and interesting without making it really weird and awkward. And an animated show made by Netflix, and all the other stuff that they have on that platform, I don't think that this has much of a chance of going anywhere, especially with the way they drop episodes. I'm only slightly more interested in the perception of the new King Conan film that they're in the works with right now.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm going to bring that up here in a minute, because we have a couple of beloved stars I think everybody here loves, and they've got some stuff in the works. So I'm going to bring that up here in just a second. But yeah, just to and as Shane says, beating a dead horse, get it dead, right? Yeah,
there's always stuff to explore with Ghostbusters, and I don't think the ghost side of things is really what we need to explore, because now we're going to get into all that stuff that was in that last Ghostbuster movie that people didn't want to explore.
And I mean, I just don't know what you really do with that. They've done, Slimer was a character of his own in the, cartoon.
We don't need to see what he was before he was a ghost.
Nope, I don't care. And honestly, as Shane said too, beating a dead horse, Ghostbusters is a look. I don't know anybody that doesn't like the first movie in particular, okay?
Yeah.
But I just don't feel like it's a franchise.
It really
in the
isn't.
way, yeah, in the way that people try to make it out. Like, yeah, you had the real Ghostbusters cartoon, you can make toys, but I just don't see it as this ongoing thing to keep milking money from.
What I thought was a brilliant idea with the franchise is what they did in the IDW comics, and they had franchises. So they sold franchises of the Ghostbusters logo, name, and they franchised it out. And the second largest franchise besides New York was Chicago. And it was a different team of people, and they had different challenges and different things that they were going through. And then they had a Japan franchise. And so there are these different groups of people around the world that were using the technology, using the logo, using the name to go out and solve these things. Now that would be interesting.
Yes. I don't know, man. This doesn't do anything for me. I mean, if something comes out, they decide to do something with it, I would check it out, but I have a feeling I'll be disappointed. Like I really was with the last two movies they came out with. I was disappointed in both of those movies, even when they decided to bring Egon back in ghost form, and then the last one, the Frozen Empire or whatever.
I thought they were fine.
It didn't do anything for me. Fine is a very kind word, or encompassing word. I guess that fits. Right? I guess that fits.
I liked Afterlife. And then Frozen Empire, whatever, it was okay, but it was kind of in the same vein as Ghostbusters 2. It's one of those things that it's like, all right, I get it. I'll enjoy it for what it is.
I guess for me, it's like, how do you up the stakes more than it? Like Ghostbusters 2 for me was the same way. It's like, okay, you had, literally, ghosts coming, the dead rising, whatever. And then how do we up the stakes with that?
Right.
How do we make it bigger? Well, we'll have slime. We'll have ooze underneath the city, and we'll make people pissed off at each other because it just, in the second movie for me, even on a rewatch, does not hold up that much for me. It really doesn't.
Did you see that one Ghostbusters actress passed away?
I did.
The one who played the sensual ghost.
Well, yeah, because originally I thought it was the girl that was in the scene with Bill Murray where he's doing the cards.
The electroshop.
Yeah. And no, but I did see that. I think she was like 65 years old.
Yeah.
But she was in a couple things. I think she was in was it Charles in Charge? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
something like that.
She's mostly known for being that ghost in Ghostbusters, the Ghostbusters girl.
And 3-star liked all of it except for 2016. Which, look, hey, I can't blame you for that.
They didn't make a Ghostbusters movie in 2016.
I don't know what you're talking about. I can't. I don't. Excuse me. I think that's a mistake somewhere. I think there was no movie in 2016.
Is that the one with the gorilla and
Oh, yes. Actually, oh God, that was
and
beautiful. That was fantastic. Nolan says they should have went more towards an updated extreme Ghostbusters.
no, I agree. I mean, that would have been interesting. Extreme Ghostbusters was good.
And that's a trip. And Nolan says that's my kid's favorite version. And let's see. Oh, and the I say young lady that passed away is 65, but
65.
nonetheless, Graf, what's up, buddy? Says she was in Up the Creek, a great movie with her, indeed. Okay, I don't know. I don't know that I've seen Up the Creek, to be honest with you. I'm missing out on something great. I don't know. Okay, so I did see a little Star Trek news. I did see a little Star Trek news, Matthew. I thought it
Are you talking
might.
about the awards ceremony thing, or?
No, Star Trek shuts down all
Oh,
productions.
yeah. I heard that. I don't know that I believe that because I'm pretty sure that they're still making Starfleet Academy season 2.
But it to me, I think after season 2 of that. Now I know Paramount wants to mine this as much as they can,
Like,
and
it,
they
you got to think about the way that they're making series these days, and they're making series stupid. They're making series where they give them a budget and then they divide it amongst 16 episodes or 22 episodes or whatever. And then they split that in half and say, okay, that's 2 seasons worth of shows. Like, it's
right.
not 2 seasons worth. That's 1 season. Yeah, morons, but whatever.
Well, and that's what I hate about watching, series now is that, 2 seasons is in essence, it's like half of a season of what we used to get,
Yeah.
Or a little over half of a season. You get 16 episodes, that was, about 8 shy of a full season of network television.
Right.
But what they need to do with Star Trek, because pretty much everything's been a failure roughly since 2009. Or at least the sequel to the first movie, the first J.J. Abrams movie. It's been run into the ground, and they should let it lie for like 10 years. Just let it lie for 10 years. Let people miss something instead of being bombarded with really bad shows over and over, to where people put it out of their mind and they don't have good memories of it.
I was really disappointed at CBS Paramount when they went after the fan films, the fan TV shows that were being made, because Star Trek Continues and Star Trek Phase 2 are probably some of the best Star Trek that's come out in the modern era. And it was based off the classic series, but they did a really good job. And they actually had some of the original writers come back and write some of the episodes for this fan fiction. Dorothy Fontana came back, DC Fontana came back and wrote a couple episodes for them. And those were really good. They were meticulous in the detailed recreation, and they honored the traditions of Star Trek. And I think that embarrassed the hell out of them with Kurtzman Trek and Jar Jar Trek.
Right.
And so they had to shut it down because they were making them look bad. And Star Trek Continues had a plan, and they finished their plan. So they were done. But then you have Axanar and Phase 2 that never actually got to finish because they were shut down.
Yeah, it's supposedly, so they finished shooting season 2 of Starfleet Academy, which doesn't even rate on Paramount's own top 10, maybe for a day, one day, and that's only because it just came out. But no one's watching these shows, and that show in particular. And kind of the rumor is really, or at least going around, is that they're going to treat season 2 as kind of that's the finale of the show. It's done, and then after that, I think they're going to maybe put the kibosh on Trek for a little while.
I hope so.
Paramount did inherit a lot of debt, and if you continually spend $8 million an episode on a show nobody's watching, that nobody's signing up for your service for, then that only puts you more in the hole, in my opinion. And so hopefully this is actually kind of a true, is that if they just kind of shut things down, let it lie. Now Shane says that he's a little too old to let it lie for 10 years. But the problem is that not only can they not get back to basics right now anyway, but B, hell, it takes too long to put a series out anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, they start something now, it's going to be 2 years before you even get it in your hands.
Right.
So I get what you're saying, though. I definitely do. Hopefully you guys ain't getting a little storm up there in Illinois, Indiana. You guys are good.
I think the storm must be getting ready to start here. My dog's getting crazy. She came running over to hide underneath my feet.
This is for us, man. When we get these warm fronts, this is like tornado season for us, man.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like it really is. And yeah, Giraffe, it has been. It's been that long. I am not some massive Star Trek fan, but I've stated before, I do like the original series. I do like Next Generation quite a bit. I've seen a whole bunch of it. And so yeah. And yeah, Todd Nolan said the fan stuff is some of the best stuff that's been around in years.
Yeah.
So I'll take y'all's word for it. Let's see here. Okay. You mentioned it earlier, so I got to share it because I think people will be interested in this topic if I can get.
I was looking into it. I wanted to find out if it was true or not, and everything I'm seeing, it looks like there are discussions. So where is it going to lead to anything? I don't know, but there are discussions happening right now.
All right, Hollywood Reporter, work with me here. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Christopher McQuarrie teaming up for new Conan the Barbarian movie. 20th Century Studios is attached the filmmaker to write and direct King Conan, reviving the character that was an early signature role for Schwarzenegger. This article was on March the 9th. There is a great picture. The good old days.
The good old days.
McQuarrie, who has helmed the four most recent Mission Impossible films, is attached to write and direct King Conan for 20th Century Studios. Schwarzenegger would reprise his role as Conan the Barbarian, which became an early part of the star, signature part for the star. What do you think, man? What do you think? I mean, this would be interesting. Also, talking to Dan Trachtenberg about returning to the Predator franchise. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you can save Predator. That one also needs to rest a little bit. Conan, I think it's time to have a Conan movie. And if it's actually going to be a Conan movie, then I'm excited for it. I think we need some of this storytelling, the Howard and Lovecraft type of storytelling, where we get into the weird and the bizarre, but the fantasy heroes again, and really talk about bringing fantasy heroes back, because they are archetypes. They are true to the nature of humanity and idealism and what we aspire to. And if you go nihilistic and depressing and deconstruction, then we're all fucked again. So I don't want to see that.
It is interesting at his age, as 3-Star says, Conan the Geriatric Dreadnought, Conan Age of Anabolics. That's interesting. I don't know about nowadays, but
he's been off the juice for a long time. But,
yeah. I mean, really, I think after his heart attack, right?
Yeah.
I think they're markedly different in size, and obviously that's a byproduct of something like that. You kind of have to maybe change some things. But it says here, great story where Conan was 40 years old, and it says. Or 40 years as king, my bad. And he gets complacent, and now he gets forced out of the kingdom. Slowly, there's a conflict, and then somehow comes back. And then there's all kinds of madness, violence, magic, creatures. He was just discussing this with a crowd. Says that now, of course, you have all the special effects. Studio system has plenty of money, well, to make those movies really big. So I'm looking forward to all of those projects. Maybe even talking about Predator 2. But he was at the Arnold Sports Festival in Columbus, Ohio, and he was telling people that I guess this is supposedly a go.
I mean,
we'll see.
We'll see.
It'd be cool. It'd be cool. I would dig it. I would definitely dig it.
I would like to see it, and yeah, I'm interested. You know, He-Man can get revitalized, and maybe we have something there too. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it is difficult because, and I'll bring this up when I share this tab, is that Schwarzenegger is to executive produce a John Rambo prequel movie.
You mean Stallone?
Stallone, my bad. The Lionsgate feature about origin story behind the character Stallone originally played has started production in Thailand. So they've already started production. What I was going to compare or say about these two guys is that, you know, we've seen Stallone with another resurgence, right? With Tulsa King.
I think this has a lot of potential because if he's executive producing, and then he's going to have final say on a lot of stuff, and he knows how to make a good movie, and he's smart about it. So I think this could be interesting. And if he gets Will Jordan, the critical drinker, to come in and help him, or Chuck Dixon, he loves Chuck Dixon. I know he does because he's helped him with a bunch of stuff.
Yes.
So if he gets to use Chuck Dixon's prequel that he wrote as a comic book, and if they play that out in the movie, I think there's something there. And then
I thought that was the plan.
I hope so. And then Will wrote the Troutman prequel type of thing, so you could tell a little bit about Troutman's beginnings and a little bit about John's beginnings. Right. I think there's a lot of interesting things to play out there.
Yeah, it's I thought for sure that was the plan. You know, I'm trying to scan and look for Dixon's name in here anywhere, just in this article, just to see if it says that it's based on a screenplay. It's got several names attached to it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. But it says he confirmed he'll executive produce the film on his Instagram page. Rambo's been a part of my life for a very long time.
Right.
A character built on resilience, survival, and the scars of war. Yeah, I guess what I was going to say about the age part of it, obviously he's not acting as himself in a prequel. But I think, man, you know, that period style piece, man, like I'm all about it. I mean, I'd love to see that. And again, from this is, to me, this is kind of the direction I think that I would want him to go. Like, even in Tulsa King, like, you see season 3, like, you know, you can tell, like, he's just getting older.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
And so I would rather get these ideas out. Get some of these ideas out. Arnold, get some of these ideas out. Obviously, seeing Arnold as like an older Conan would be cool, but like, he ain't doing no action, man. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
and so
come on.
So that's the thing. I mean, between Howard and Roy Thomas and the King Conan stories that they told, I don't know how up to it Arnold is.
Right.
I mean, he'd have to have a stunt double and have his head pasted on top of the stunt double or whatever.
Yeah, it's I just don't see that happening. So from a King Conan perspective, like ruling, but fighting, I don't want to see that. Like, I don't want to see that at all.
Clint, you may be in the past. It's okay. You'll catch up.
And I had several comments come in. War Chest, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you, man. And what did he say here? You Ishtar loving nerds. Yeah, man. I don't know anybody that loves Ishtar. That's for sure. Wasn't there also a Ram?
It's all about the Zardoz.
Oh God. Jesus Christ, man. That's great. The Rambo New Blood movie. I remember hearing a little bit about that.
Yeah, Last Blood was okay. It's not great.
I mean, it's but you know, a prequel of some kind, a Vietnamish prequel, you know, or whatever like that. I'm down for that for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I would definitely see that. Platoon Part 2. Don't think they can get, you know, man, I love that movie.
Yeah.
That one and oh hell,
Apocalypse Now.
Full Metal
Full Metal. Yeah,
Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket.
I like Apocalypse Now, but I made the
Yeah.
mistake the last time I watched it of watching that extended version.
Oh yeah.
And God bless America, it drags, man. Like it drags so badly. Still like it. I don't, it's not one of my like just all time favorites.
Full Metal Jacket was always one of mine.
That's
sure.
a fun one. Fun movie. G.I. Jet, man, what's going on, buddy? Good to see ya. Let's see here. And then Clint says, I am caught up.
Come on. Come on.
Last Blood was good for what it was. Completely predictable, but it was hard to look away, says 3-star. Yeah. I agree. I agree. And then Nolan says, have it end where the first one started. I would like to see maybe that, right? Where the end of it kind of leads up to it. Hell or High Water. I have not
that was
seen
good.
Hell or High Water.
No, that was good.
Says Dreadnought. I have not.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Interesting.
For sure.
Apocalypse Now, second favorite movie for Clint. Doing a Heat 2? What?
I heard about that. I don't believe it yet. I sure hope not.
I just don't know what you do with
Well,
it.
yeah, what do? You bring back a whole bunch of elderly guys to do another heist movie?
And it's a shame because a lot of these cats we grew up watching, man, but you just can't do it anymore.
Now, Tora 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 is probably one of the greatest Pacific War era movie storytelling. Now, I love Midway. Midway is a modern one that did a really good job with it, but Tora 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 had a Japanese crew and an American crew, and the Japanese crew filmed all the Japanese stuff, and the American crew filmed all the American stuff. And so you had two completely filming styles, and then they brought them together. And you had people like Kurosawa that got involved with Tora 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 for a minute.
Okay.
One of the greatest directors of all time. And so there's a lot there with Tora Tora Tora, which is really fascinating history there.
So, I was sitting here, where was it? Like Heat 2 is a prequel, says Todd.
Then why is it called Heat 2? Why isn't it called igniting the flame or
preheat the oven?
Exactly. Yeah.
Preheat. Oh God. That would be pretty funny actually. Yeah,
Hey, what? You can't go back there. Hold on a second. My dog's going nuts.
You're good. You're good. Yeah, 3-star. The extended cut of Apocalypse. I didn't realize what I was getting myself into. I honestly did not. And the longer it went, the more and more I was just like, all right, I'm ready for this to end. A couple really long scenes that they extend in there, man. With the chicks. At the one base they're at or whatever that they end up at, that's extended quite a bit. But let's see. Yeah, it's called Preheat Turk. You're the man. Okay. I did this is kind of weird and I don't know if I want it, and I kind of am curious about what the chat feels about this coming out also. And funny enough, the Hollywood Reporter, this section of their website is called Heat Vision. It should be more timely. Elijah Wood hints at Lord of the Rings Return doesn't want anybody else playing Frodo because Andy Serkis is making the Hunt for Gollum prequel. And Elijah Wood is saying that I would come back to play Frodo because I don't want anybody else to play the character.
Yeah, okay, sure. I guess the de-aging technology is good enough. You can do that because this was supposed to be in between.
Yeah.
So this was like in the 20 years or whatever from when the 111th birthday of Bilbo to when Frodo left the Shire. There's a huge gap of time.
Right.
And that's when the hunt for Gollum takes place, when Gandalf is out there searching for him.
And Ian McKellen is coming back. He has confirmed his return, so he is also going to be in the movie. I do think if you're going to do it, I think it would be cool to have there's Elijah Wood there also.
There's a lot of potential with it, and I think that it would be great to have Elijah back and all this stuff, but what role is he really going to play in the hunt for Gollum? Because that was really Gandalf going after him, and Aragorn has a part to play in it. So I don't know. We'll see.
Do you think they would? Oh, man, do you think they would alter a bit to get Frodo in there, or do you think it'd be just a very small part?
I think it'd be pretty small. You know, I mean, they could do something with it. I don't know, because it's not really a story that was told per se as a story. It was kind of like a historical thing. This happened. You know, Gandalf had to go hunt down all this information, try to find him, and Mordor was hunting for him. And they captured him, tortured him, and got the information and all that stuff. But
okay, yeah, I don't have a big issue.
3-star,
really.
you're dead to me.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh, how can you be over Lord of the Rings? If you didn't watch Rings of Power, then if you did, I could totally understand that sentiment. If you haven't, then man, like, Lord of the Rings. I mean, man, look, The Hobbit. Somebody, you can have that. Like, you can have The Hobbit. I didn't really care for The Hobbit, but Lord of the Rings, man,
they tried to incorporate.
Amazing.
They tried to incorporate a lot of the history stuff that happened supposedly somewhere around the same time. So they tried to do too much with The Hobbit that they shouldn't have. And that's what made people mad, and then some stuff that they kind of threw in there because also that didn't work so well. But
I don't know. I mean, I thought maybe some things they cut, that Jackson cut out of that trilogy that he made.
I mean, there's still like 14 hours of footage that we haven't seen that he filmed from that original trilogy.
Yeah, and but I mean, will we see that maybe at some point in time? But like that would add. I mean, those movies, the extended versions, I think are fantastic. But man, that would add even, so much more time to those movies. I don't. It'd be hard to get through at that point. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were trying to do some world building and build up to Sauron's return and how he was plotting it and stuff.
Yeah.
And they made some things more definitive than the books actually ever did. But anyway, I do like the Hobbit movies, especially the first one, the Dwarven song. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. If they could do, and yeah, the Hobbit, I think should have been one movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know.
agree.
I get what 3-star's saying as far as
Okay.
just adding another story onto it. It really, if you're going to do it though, man, unlike Rings of Power, I mean, especially if you're going to put out in theaters, that it needs to do justice.
Well, you know what, and I don't know too many people that saw it, but the War for the Rohirrim should have been a really engaging story, and they messed that up too. So the same people that brought you Rings of Power brought you the War of the Rohirrim. So I hope that those same people are not involved with this Hunt for Gollum thing at all, because they will find a way to screw it up.
Right. And Turk, he says the book is always better. I would dare say Jaws as a movie is better than the book.
And Princess Bride as a movie
somewhere
is way better than the book.
Ooh, actually,
the book was terrible, and Buttercup was such a bimbo. It was terrible.
That's something interesting, though. Actually, to me, is that I would be curious to go through and maybe compile a list of movies, adapted from books where the movie was far superior than the book, right? General consensus, even.
I think you're only going to find like 2 or 3 of those.
Yeah. I agree. And Nolan agrees with you also, by the way. Yeah, G.I. Jet, man. I mean, all 6. And I know people that definitely are all in, right? Like all in on all 6. I totally get it. But just for me, The Hobbit just did not live up to my expectations, and that barrel scene.
What, you didn't like it?
Jesus Christ,
that
that
got
thing
me.
goes on
Well,
forever.
it is the worst special effects that I've seen in a movie in a long time.
Terrible.
And
It's
I'm like,
terrible.
what the heck happened, Weta? What the heck happened? You did such an amazing job that it holds up on 4K release with the trilogy, and then you do this Hobbit movie, and you do this fucked up, crazy, dumbass, cheap CGI bullshit in this.
Right.
What the hell happened?
Yeah. I don't know. It really the elves even just there. Yeah, the CGI was very wonky
So
in
bad.
that movie. Very
So
very
bad.
wonky. Now Will is
Because they
here,
spent all their money on the dragon later.
and Will says Pet Cemetery the book was better than the movie. I won't argue with that. Like I won't
I
argue with that.
I would argue most of the Stephen King adaptations were better as books than they were as the movies or TV
I
shows.
I agree definitely.
You liked the movie? Oh, I guess I was thinking about the TV series, but
Um, the Dark Tower movie better than the books?
I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't I
I
don't I
don't
doubt
know.
it. That's got to be a joke. Yeah, because I don't
It's
that
got to
movie
be.
did not do well at all. It was widely panned. This is one thing that kind of caught me by surprise, dude. And I think sometimes, and the reason I wanted to bring this up, this story, okay, is we all know headlines are just obviously made for reasons, whether it's to get something back out there in the public consciousness, whether it's to for critics or the press to give something a good name when people don't like it or whatever. And I think that's what's going on with this story here because this article is about Alien Romulus and the fact that it's currently the most watched movie on HBO Max worldwide. And this is a pro Alien Romulus article that's basically trying to prop this movie back up, get it back in the consciousness of everybody. The
What I will
first like
say,
30 minutes I thought was cool. And
I
after
mean,
that, I was like, this is
listen,
not an alien movie.
if you remember, I gave this movie a solid 7 out of 10, right?
Right.
I enjoyed going to see it. It was fine. Man, it blows the water out of Alien Earth because Alien Earth was hot garbage.
Hey, you won't get any pushback from me on that. Okay.
And it tried to do something and I get it, but it wasn't necessary. It didn't really work and they're really pushing hard with it. And I don't know. I would love to see more alien movies. I love alien stories. I love that universe with the xenomorphs. But they've exhausted all their creativity. They're coming back on stuff and they don't know how to write the story anymore.
so the other thing about this article, because look, sometimes these things don't go worldwide on streaming for a while, and I think
Yeah.
that's what's happened here. Jurassic World Afterbirth was the HBO Max top streaming movie globally until Alien Romulus overtook it. And again, that shocks me because that movie sucks. That movie
Yeah.
that movie is so
Yeah.
bad, and I think two people die in that movie. And they try to make it up like things happen. There's all of a sudden something bad's going to happen, and the dinosaur just flies away. Or
Yeah.
something bad's going to happen, and the dinosaur decides to walk away. Like it is awful. And so that surprises me. But also, this really surprises me that this is like the top worldwide.
I don't get it. Why aren't they talking Predator here? I mean, what about that Native American Predator movie, Prey?
Dude, Prey, even Prey. Like I just this is
I
to me
kind of
this is
enjoyed it.
wild.
I kind of enjoyed Prey. I think I enjoyed Prey a little bit more than I liked Romulus. But Stew for Lunch, I as soon as the title came out, I was disheartened because 30 years ago, somebody said, if aliens come to Earth, it's over. That's a dumb premise. You can't have that premise because that premise ruins the world forever. And the fact that they titled it Alien Earth and the show was so hot garbage coincided with the fact that you can't have them on Earth because
Yeah.
it's over. It's over if that happens.
Well,
And so,
you know how it ends. That's for sure. I mean, you know how it's gonna end. Like it has to. But the thing is I think ultimately, this show is more about these hybrid children, these
well,
Peter Pan,
Peter Pan,
children.
and there's a whole other Epstein Island thing going on there.
Mm. Dude, that stupid dude that uses his feet to pick shit,
Yeah,
man.
whatever, man. I mean,
Um,
there's a whole bunch of subtext where when you put Peter Pan in there and you talk about the kids the way you do, and they're adults and they're in adult bodies, and there's a whole thing going on there. Where they're discussing transhumanism and all this other bullshit that Hollywood's pushing that is right up Dreadnought K6 alley for sure. But it's not something
right.
that anybody wants to look into. Um, it's just terrible. I
Well,
don't even understand why they went in that direction.
it
But
in the end was super lame.
yeah,
Girl boss, Wendy. It's embarrassing. That show is embarrassing. It's embarrassing to the Alien franchise, so to speak. And like 3 star, I can't wait till it comes out to make fun of it. I really can't. I mean, yeah, like you said, just bleh. And then I don't know. It says, Jordan says, besides how creepy the hybrid alien was, it was pretty bad. Yep. Did a good job making the alien creepy AF when it smiled, creeptastic. I thought the CGI in that show was also very wonky, right?
was he talking about the movie or the show?
I ain't talking about the alien Earth.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But
Yeah, I mean,
I,
I like I said, there's more to like about Romulus than
or
there is
maybe,
Alien Earth.
or maybe he's talking about Romulus. Joe fan, how you doing, buddy? Um, I love the premise. I love Alien. I'm gonna tell you guys, probably the best Alien movie to come out since Aliens is Alien Isolation, the video game. Go play that.
Absolutely.
Go play that.
Go read the book. Go play the video game.
Yes,
Alien
yes.
Isolation is what they should have done with Romulus. It's what they should have done because there's so much you can do with it with Ripley's daughter going out into space, and you've got this whole other storyline. You've got the female protagonist. You've got this isolated alien space station, and it's a haunted house. It's a horror movie in the haunted house, right? There's
Great.
so much there that was so amazing, and it just kills me that they chose not to option that and tell
I
that
can't believe it.
story.
I know. I agree. I agree. I can't believe it. I mean, it's with all the Alien movies that's been made over the last several years, and even Predator to an extent. The most recent one I thought was just super stupid.
Yeah,
But Alien in particular, we've gotten a lot of quote unquote content that they've used it, mined it for. I do agree in a way though. I guess like the comics though, Dreadnought, where like I think that's where the show maybe was also trying to go, is using them as like military weaponry, right? You have the young kid that that's interested in trying to experiment on these creatures and stuff. And
yeah.
so, I could maybe see that obviously being part of the show. But what does 3 star say here? Speaking of books becoming movies, Matthew, would you want to see someone take a crack at the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen? Okay, that's a
Listen,
good question.
okay, I gotta say this. Hate me for it, whatever. I don't judge me for it. I don't care. I like the movie.
Okay,
I know how disrespectful it is to Alan Moore, but he thinks everything's disrespectful, the stuff that he writes.
yeah, he's a
Every
goofball.
every adaptation is terrible to him. I really I don't want to say I love that movie because there are flaws in it, but I liked it enough. Yes, I would like to see somebody else take a stab at it. I don't think that they will because getting the rights from, well, actually these days it might be easier because they're selling everything off wholesale.
Yeah.
And since the creator has no control over it because they wrote it for one of the big publishing companies, there's potential that somebody could pick it up. But I don't know how you get somebody better than Sean Connery to come in there and play that character.
Quartermain. I mean, the thing of it is, to me, is that I almost feel like that movie has such a bad name that no one wants to touch it because.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hollywood. I mean, that almost killed comic book movies for a long time when that movie came out because of how poorly it did and how poorly it was received. Go back and watch it again. It's light years ahead of what's come out in the last 10 years for the most part. But I love all of the monsters, Universal monsters coming together and making fun stories. It is what it is. Yes, I would like to see somebody else do it, but I actually kind of did enjoy that initial one because it had charming elements to it.
You know what?
And they had a Dorian Gray. I love Dorian Gray.
Look,
nobody's doing a Dorian Gray thing, and yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. Look, I don't hate the film. I've seen it several times. I think it's fine. I enjoy it. There's parts of it I actually really do like. I
thought Nemo was really entertaining in that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What I found amazing, though, was that Connery passed on The Matrix and Lord of the Rings to do League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
What blows me away is that he's such a Hollywood, whatever. He's so indoctrinated in that world. He didn't even know what Lord of the Rings was.
He didn't understand it. He didn't understand the scripts. Matrix also, though, which I get.
Okay, I get the
if
Matrix
he was Morpheus, but you're right. Yeah, the architect. He was the architect. He would have been the architect in the Matrix.
Sure. And for the Matrix stuff, I get it. He made the right call, I think, because if he was going to be in a sequel to the Matrix movie, no, that would not have worked well because those were not good movies. But
yes.
But passing on Lord of the Rings, could you imagine Sean Connery in Lord of the Rings in some capacity?
Gandalf was the role they offered him.
Yeah,
do you think that? I mean, I don't know, man. I think that would have been a mistake.
I do too. I actually do too. I think if he played the king of the Rohirrim, if he played Theoden, I think we would have had something, but not as Gandalf and not as Sauron. No, he could. The only person I could see him doing is Theoden.
Right.
But I think they picked the perfect actor to play Theoden because he killed those speeches.
Yes. I agree. I mean, to me, it would be, I don't think Connery would have added to the role of Gandalf.
No.
It would have been a downgrade from what we got. I firmly
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Because he would have phoned it in because he doesn't understand it, which is why he passed on it. So I get it, but at the same time, it's like to be attached to Lord of the Rings, I think is a no-brainer for a lot of people. But he didn't get it, so that's fine.
Yeah. But not understanding the script, I think that's pretty
funny.
Interesting. I mean, to me, honestly, I'm a bit surprised that he doesn't, didn't really know it, right? Like, I would assume it would just been so well known to an actor like that, but maybe that's giving him more credit.
Okay,
I don't know.
The more I think about it, the more I'm like, he's a Shakespearean trained actor.
That's what I mean. Surprises me.
But Shakespeare didn't use wizards and orcs.
But the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is pretty out there too, though. I mean,
but
a way,
he understood
right?
the character because he was
an
African hunter,
right?
He knew how to shoot a gun, and okay. So he had to deal with monsters and this other thing. He also played an Egyptian Spaniard who was trained in Japan.
Yeah, that's true. And he probably, after Bond, Dreadnought, he probably was. He didn't have time for Lord of the Rings. No, I'd say he probably at that point in his life had time for Lord of the Rings. Um, so,
Hey,
so,
Christopher Lambert is supposed to be in Henry Cavill's Highlander movie.
um, yes, yes, yes. And I actually saw, did I dream that I saw some images?
I believe that you did see some images.
Uh,
I believe there are some out there from the set that have come out.
um, did you sent to me, didn't you?
I don't know if I sent them to you, but I know I saw some. GI Jetman. Yes, Alec Guinness hated Kenobi,
Yes.
but later in life he learned to accept it because it became such a thing that he wanted to be known for his more Shakespearean roles,
And
but
he,
at the same time, he hit pop culture, and everybody will always remember him as Obi-Wan Kenobi, as the elderly wise man with the sage advice, and the Space Wizard movie wins out. I'm sorry.
well, and he negotiated points on the back end,
Yes, he did.
and
So,
he made a lot of
yep,
money from that role.
yep.
So he very well would have been pretty happy with that at least, because he made a lot of money.
And Dreadnought, yeah, Henry is the one of the greatest gatekeepers in all of Hollywood right now, and he
Yes.
has threatened to walk off projects, and he has walked off a project. He walked off a project with George Clooney because he's like, this is not true to the source material. If you're not going to follow the source material, I'm out. And he walked away from a multi-million-dollar contract with George Clooney because George Clooney's an idiot. And the people that were trying to make that project were idiots. And Henry Cavill has stated since they screwed up The Witcher, since they screwed up Superman, and they've hosed him on so many things, he's like, I'm not getting into a project unless I have control or say. And if they're not
Right.
going in a direction that I feel is appropriate, I'm walking away. So in that matter of fact, his integrity is so high in my book right now that I will support him in any way that I can. So this
Oh, I'm
Warhammer
with.
thing, this
Yeah.
Highlander thing, I'm all about.
Yeah, I'm with you with Warhammer. I do hope that actually, I mean, because man, I don't know, it's been taking a while. It's kind of been seeming like things aren't getting moving along with it. Trying to get
It
the right
is
script. Is Amazon wanting to put in their
yes.
social messaging, and
So
he's trying to keep it out, and it's like,
so
yeah,
based off of the Netflix model and how they nuke everything in the second season, unless you're willing to stand up for it, and then it'll last 3 seasons, and then they'll nuke it in the third season. Uh,
right.
as we will see with One Piece, as you guys will
Yes,
see
which
with One Piece, because once you get through season 2 of One Piece, it's going to be good, but there's going to be some stuff in there. You're going to see the cracks, and season 3, One Piece is going to fall apart because Netflix is exerting so much control that some of the top creative people on the One Piece series walked away because they were tired of fighting all the battles every day.
That's what
And
happens though. It's either when you hire these people and you let them in the door,
yep,
which is what Cavill's had to fight against,
yep,
or the executives at the top. It's I could understand feeling like you're fighting an uphill battle. Like you can't actually stay true to your material, or you can't write the story that you should be writing or telling
yep,
because you're forced to interject stuff based off of a list that's handed to you,
right,
that you have to figure out how to wedge in to a story where it
yep,
makes no sense to have it.
right. And one of the best scenes in the entire Witcher thing is an improv written by Henry Cavill scene about his horse dying. Right.
Oh yeah, yeah. They thought it was silly. They thought it was stupid, and
And
it's
when it
it's
became
it's
the
one of
most
the
talked about
yes,
thing about
yes, 100%.
the entire series, they got so pissed. They were glad to see him walk away from the project because they're like, now we can have full control and nobody will watch our show. I mean,
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. Here's a set image though from Highlander. A couple images here. The
yep.
one obviously that was at the top, but yeah, we'll see, man. This may be somewhat of a hot take. Because I do really do like Henry Cavill a lot. I just I just feel like most of the stuff he's been in just has not been very good.
Look, and you have to understand why, because if you look at his acting has been on point with everything. He's put everything into everything that he's done,
Right.
and he's tried to make the best decisions with what he was given. And once he got to be so popular, now he has ability to change things. He has been beholden to a bunch of dipshit assholes this whole time, and now he's got enough clout where he can put pressure back on them to make the things well. And I know that he can, because there have been some other projects that he's been in that have been really successful. Now,
Uh,
if you're looking at Superman, if you're looking at The Witcher, and you're looking at some of these other things that got canceled or whatever, you can see the problems with it.
no, I understand that, but like, what is it? The Gentleman, I think, was one. Of course, he was barely in
What
it. I just feel like
what's wrong with The Gentleman? The Gentleman was great, and so was the
um,
TV show.
I just I think that was the movie, right? Wasn't that the movie that he was? It was with the it. No, hang on.
You're thinking of Mission Impossible,
No, it was a movie about the
where his mustache grew in real fast?
yeah, he's on a boat like near the very end, and it has a chick or somebody with a cat in a backpack or something like that. Damn, what was that movie? Holy crap! Uh, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's because that was also pretty rough too. It did very poorly, but
Look, I like
uh,
Cavill, so I will support him and the
no,
stuff that
no.
he's
I
doing.
look.
So
I can't argue with that. I'm just mentioning. I guess that if you look at a lot of the stuff he's been in now, like you said. I mean, yes, some of it unfortunately was hijacked. Out from him, and I hope that's not what happens with the Warhammer series. And I hope with Highlander that it's also left alone, uh, and he's able to cook. It's unfortunate for him also, I believe, just for the simple fact that um, he his age now at this point, it's like there's this whole time period where I think he could have
yeah,
been really huge,
yeah.
and it's kind of passed him by. Yes,
Our
Argyle.
Argyle was not
That's
good.
it,
No, yeah,
Stanley. Yeah,
Argyle was not good.
Argyle. And don't get me wrong, I like looking at Dua Lipa. I mean, by all means, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, that was yeah, pretty brutal. But yeah, Highlander. Hey, we'll see once we get the
You
idea
know,
of maybe when it's coming out. And,
my favorite Highlander is the first movie and the TV series. That's what I like about Highlander. I thought the Duncan MacLeod storyline was awesome through the TV series, and got really into the world. And then the Highlander movie, the original movie. So since this is a remake, I'm all for it, because you're going to retell the story and you're going to reboot the universe, and
yeah.
maybe you can do something special with it, as long as you don't bring in this alternate alien dimension world bullshit. I think we're okay.
Um, I am definitely interested, and I do like that first movie as most of us did, right?
Yeah,
Most
I
of
mean,
us are in the same ballpark age wise, and that's one of those really cool freaking movies that came out that was like,
man, I remember the
prime
first time I
time.
saw it. I was over at my friend David's house, and we watched it in the basement on a weekend. And I said, "Can we watch this? Are you okay? Awesome!" And so we watched it, and so amazing. It's greatness.
Um,
I would love to see Clancy have a cameo too. I know Christopher Lambert does, or Lambert, or however the hell you want to say his name. Uh, and Clancy would be fun to see in it, but I don't know. We'll see.
so
Highlander TMT crossover.
yeah, I know. I think that's pretty good. So check this out. I only want to show this not for the article, not for really any reason. I saw this come up as I was
Nolan,
before
I
the
have both
show.
swords. I've got Duncan and Connor's swords on my wall over there.
Man, where's that comment? Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. I was like, where the heck did I miss that? So I wanted to share this only because most of us are of an age where we used to either get or see the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue.
I've got posters.
And I still have some of mine actually.
Cindy Crawford posters.
Yeah. Oh, dude. But like Elle McPherson, right? Paulina Porskova.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I still have some of them, but for some reason they won't open. I can't get the magazine to actually open. The pages are stuck together. But but I wanted to show this picture of also one of the other very famous models from those issues, and I want you guys to realize at this age now, and I don't even know because I have not actually like looked into her age, but I'd assess that it's probably, I'm guessing, late like 60s. But,
yes,
this
Freestar.
lady,
I'm over 800 years old.
Yeah, right. Kathy Ireland looks spectacular.
Yeah, she does.
Holy moly.
Wow.
Spectacular, dude.
I haven't seen her in a long time.
Me too.
That's a current picture. That's awesome.
Yes. Holy moly.
She cleaned off all of her thetans and bathed in the baby's blood and did all that stuff, didn't she?
Man, like... You know what I mean? And the thing of it was about her.
That can't be a current picture. It can't be.
You don't think so?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. Here,
how old is she? I mean, she's got to be in her 60s, right?
Yes. Hang on. I will tell you that picture is that's a year and a half old.
And she's how old?
That is a year and a half old picture because the 50th anniversary was in let's see here.
So she's in her 70s?
She's like 60s, I think. Something like that.
Oh man. If it was 50 years ago, I would hope she's in her 70s.
Let me see. Hang on. Let me see.
That's amazing. I mean, seriously, there's some deals with the devil that were made there.
I'm trying to find one just to make sure that I know for sure. Let's see. All I'm getting are swimsuit pictures. Like, literally.
I'm sure.
I don't know. Hang on. Let's see. Like, for instance, like all I'm getting are swimsuit pictures. I don't know.
I think your algorithm has you figured out.
I think it does have me figured out. That picture might be a few years old.
She's 62 years old.
62.
So she was 12 when she took those pictures? What?
No. Actually, she had to be in her early 20s, I would think.
But if it was 50 years ago...
Well, no, the 50th anniversary of the swimsuit, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit.
Okay. So she's in her 60s. That makes sense. That coincides with what I was thinking. But damn, still 60 years old, looking like that.
Holy crap!
She made some deals with the devil.
I don't know. You might be right. I mean, of course, that is a lot of makeup. So it could be. There could be.
No. Look at that. Makeup can't do that. Unless it's prosthetic
surgery.
Makeup. Unless it's prosthetic. No. If it was plastic surgery, she'd look like a skeleton by now.
Speaking of which,
are we going to talk Busel fat?
No, we're going to talk
because people are talking Busel fat. This right here, it's not fat. That's your fucking tissue on your face.
No. We're going to talk. What happened to Kelly Osbourne?
Yeah,
holy cow!
I think we know what happened to her. She got infected with the Ozempic drug.
This is
fucking disgusting.
This is from December, but if you look at
that hurts to look at.
Like, for instance, I'll show you a picture of her back when the Osbournes was on, and you just look at this picture from 2020. This is 2020. Yeah. This is January, so this is 6 years ago. 2020. And then you look at there's 6 years later, and it could be that she's, since her dad died, but like that's too recent.
No.
And her dad, this is in November of 2025. When did Ozzy die? Like last, fall,
Yeah,
something maybe,
it hasn't been too long.
I mean, but that to this, like, and I agree, 3 star, like, with Ariana Grande and like this has to be the Ozempicification of celebrity. But
Look,
this is not
I
even
know,
this isn't even one of the worst pictures. I'll give you even
I
more
know,
conclusive picture. This is terrible.
I
This is,
know.
oh,
Even in the 80s and 90s, they were looking for half skeletal women, and that's what caused the anorexia bulimic epidemic that took place in the 90s and
I
early
remember. Oh yeah, all the
2000s.
supermodels.
Everybody
Mm-hmm.
was doing it, and so much so they made a comic about it with Preacher, with one of the main guys who was always gorging his face, and he had his poker with his two fingers on a stick that he'd shove down his throat to vomit everything up.
Right.
This is disgusting.
I mean, I just, and of course, this has been the top, like for the last like several days anyway. I've seen more and more videos, more and more articles written about it, and the reason why, it's because it's so striking.
Yeah.
It's one thing to lose weight, and of course, we've seen these celebrities now like this with the sunken in cheeks and all this kind of stuff, the
I
skeletal
mean, the
look.
cast of Wicked.
Right. So it is in fashion out there. It is how they lose weight. The problem is they're not dieting properly, right?
Yeah,
They're not the exercise part of it. Like if you're going to use
they sure
Ozempic and
as
stuff
hell
like
aren't
that,
exercising.
yeah, there's a regimen, right? You can't just decide, it's like, hey, I'm going to lose weight and do nothing else. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she probably doesn't eat anyway, especially if you're in the spotlight. But this is just like crazy transformative. And so, look, I get it. She's probably like, hey, I can be me. This is a hard time in my life, but this has been going on for like a few years. And
Yep.
so, yeah, it is, man, very
It's
noticeable.
disgusting.
Very noticeable.
It literally breaks my heart because I understand all the health problems that coincide with this stuff, and
Right.
I can't say anything to my patients that are on this stuff, but I'm like, this is not healthy for you.
Well, and of course, like Todd says about like, target employee over the course of a year. I mean, look, obviously you don't know someone's history and what's going on in their life. That obviously, whenever you see weight loss of some kind like that in a quick period of time, maybe obviously it's kind of like, I remember when I was battling insomnia, I would go to work and people were like, "Man, are you?" I hadn't seen him in, let's say, 5 weeks, and they're like, "Dude, you lost some weight, haven't you?" And of course, me, when you look in the mirror every day, you don't think about it, right? You just do
Yeah,
what you do. Get on for work. But yeah, I lost quite a bit of weight, and so it happens. But when people see you and they haven't seen you in a while, it's very striking. This is extremely striking, though.
yeah,
What that was, that we were looking at, compared to just normal weight
5 years.
loss. And
Yeah.
yeah, Karen Carpenter, obviously, most of us, even if we were
Mm,
children at the time,
yeah,
still know the story of Karen Carpenter. And that's a
that breaks my
disease
heart.
that,
Yeah,
like, that some people have, and that's, unfortunate for sure. I mean,
yep.
uh,
Breaks my heart for sure when people go down those paths, and you're like, it's a self-destructive path, and you, you're just sad about how they got there to go down that path, and
sure.
your wish is that somebody could have intervened and said something or done something and encouraged them to make healthier decisions, but a lot of times there's nothing anybody can do because it really is their decision.
Yeah. Um, Sometimes whether they even really realize it or not, in a way,
Yeah.
but it still is, right. I mean, it
Yep.
eventually, and once you have articles getting written about you, there's no way you don't know, right? Like, once people start doing it. So look, thanks for hanging with us this long. It's time to get into Avengers Doomsday spoiler
Let's
leaks.
do it.
Let's do it. We've put it off for long enough. It is time to talk spoiler leaks. So if you are sensitive to some of this information, now take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. But I know some of the people that you follow are the same people that I follow, and they
And
have been speaking about this stuff for a while now. Some of
and
it,
About 80% of what's in this article has been confirmed on multiple sources. So,
Yes. So if you don't want to be spoiled, um, or at least maybe know some stuff about the plot of Avengers Doomsday, which comes out later this year, then, maybe turn it down or, whatever. But I'm going to be showing the article because we need to read it and read through it.
so we're headed that way. So
we
say
are.
goodnight to anybody who's bailing out on us or
Yep.
tuning down, because this is how we're going to kind of wrap things up tonight, I think.
Yes,
So.
yeah, it is. It definitely is. And I thought I had one. There it is, right
There
there.
it is.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, folks. So, okay, let's get into it, man. Let me break this down in a format that's a little easier on the stream. And let's zoom it in a little bit. All right, here we go. Yes, the plot of Avengers Doomsday really has leaked online in full. With reshoots planned, we can expect some changes, but and some of it will maybe get lost in translation. But here we go, the opening scene of the movie.
Here we go.
Begins in the reality that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man calls home. He's in the midst of a battle with Deadpool and Wolverine, who have been sent there by Beast with a device capable of destroying this world, similar to how the TVA would prune timelines. Wolverine manages to set the device and stay behind, perishing alongside the web slinger. Deadpool, meanwhile, returns to his world, while we see Professor X watching on with sadness as another planet falls. The X-Men had no choice, as you saw in Jonathan Hickman's New Avengers run. You either save one reality or allow both to be destroyed in the incursion.
So we lose Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, the most beloved Spider-Man of all time.
I can't believe that. Like, I honestly, when I read this, I was like,
this is the hardest to believe that they do this right at the beginning of the movie and not wait for a gut punch later. So maybe there'll be some changes and re-edits. But quite honestly, I think this is one of the dumbest decisions that they're making in this movie. And it's going to not play out well for them. Killing off Tobey Maguire this early is not going to bode well. And then Hugh Jackman, the two most beloved Marvel character interpretations of all time. And I understand Hugh Jackman doesn't want to put his body through the torment of getting prepared for that role. And so I understand if you want to phase out Wolverine, I understand that one. Tobey Maguire is a slightly different story because I think Tobey loves this character and has more to tell with his Peter Parker. And, I mean, when they brought them all back, I thought that was amazing. I love what they did with that movie.
Yes.
But this, I think, is going to crush people so much. There may be people that walk out of the film at that point in the movie.
Yeah, I gotta say, for people that don't know if that is in fact the opening scene, that is quite the shocker to hit people with.
It's been kind of confirmed on multiple sources.
Oh yeah.
That this happens, and it happens at the beginning of the film. At least the Tobey Maguire part. The Hugh Jackman part was a little more nebulous, but the Tobey Maguire part has been pretty much confirmed that he dies in the beginning of the movie.
I'm tired of the TVA stuff. I'm not gonna lie.
It's garbage. That whole story, that whole TV show was a pile of crap.
And I will say, right after we just got Wolverine in costume too. You know what I mean? Like just right after, we basically get him, and then if that's in fact what happens. Now, a lot of people have read and heard about this.
Yeah.
Okay. Steve Rogers returns. Says the movie takes us back to Tony Stark's funeral in Avengers Endgame and follows Steve Rogers into the path where he chooses to build a life with Peggy Carter. They have a son, Jim. They receive a visit from Loki. And this is apparently where it fits in the timeline is before the Loki season 2 finale. It says Loki warns Steve about the TVA's plans to prune his new timeline and offers to move them to a world where they can safely hide because they don't exist. And that's Earth 828, where the Fantastic Four are. Loki leaves the former Captain America with a card he can use to contact him, and he, Peggy, and Jim spend 10 happy years there on Earth 828. The post-credit scene from Fantastic Four: First Steps is expanded on, where Doctor Doom tells Mr. Fantastic about the incursions and the fact that their universe is next. They figure out someone is living in their reality who shouldn't be there, and they visit Steve, who agreed to join them on a trip to Earth 616, where he successfully convinces his world's heroes to help Doom enact his plan of basically pruning these timelines, in essence, or destroying these worlds, rather, instead of having all these multiple heroes, multiple worlds, right? With the multiple heroes.
Well, don't they kill his kid?
So I have not read that. I've not
Okay.
read that in any of the leaks, and I've looked at basically as much as I could see, and I did not see any of that yet, at least.
So there's a one of the leaks, one of the concepts is that they're killing him too. They're pruning him, but they get his kid.
Okay.
and
Interesting.
and then that's Doom's ultimate plan, is to prune all the children of all of these offshoots.
Okay. Interesting. Now
Yeah,
is that
so Todd C's got it. Yeah, they kill his
right?
son. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so then we have Avengers versus X-Men. It says that the Avengers versus X-Men battle is a smaller part of the movie than you might expect. And it's when the Earth 616's mightiest heroes arrive seeking help. Now, it says here, though it's not specified in this leak, we'd assume they're there to learn more about Beast's device that he has. It says the mutant team has survived multiple incursions and are understandably hostile. Later, we learn that Doom and Reed Richards have a plan to build massive cannons on the remaining Earths, which will somehow separate these parallel realities and end the incursions. They'll they'll have to split into teams and visit different worlds to place them there. Meanwhile, Steve, now reunited with Thor, tells him he met a Loki who's still alive and agrees to take Thor to his brother in the TVA, which they locate with the card that was mentioned above.
Yeah. Hey, Todd C, yes. Basically, that's what I've heard as well.
Yes.
That they acknowledge that Captain America is the reason for all of this problem that is happening across the multiverse, is because he stayed with Peggy and was a selfish bastard and defied all of his character development all throughout his entire creation and all the universes. And every time Captain America's ever existed, he defied his entire character to stay with Peggy in the past and blows up the entire universe. So he's the cause of it. They acknowledge it in this movie.
How do you feel with them dealing with it like this in this way? Because a lot of fans looked at it like that. They didn't look at it as like the happy ending that Steve got to live out his life, is that he shirked what would have been his responsibility.
The only way they could deal with it is if he changes his mind and goes back to the proper time plane and changes everything, and Sam Wilson never becomes Captain America, and they continue a storyline moving forward on that respect. That's the only way they could fix it, and they won't do it. They cannot do that, and so you have to make Steve Rogers the villain of all of this.
Which, so far, well, of course, Doctor Doom, so far it almost
And
doesn't
so
seem like
in this
he's
movie,
the villain.
And so in this movie, Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans are the greatest villains of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It's an interesting concept, but it's
interesting concept.
It's
I
so
think we've seen
wild.
it a million times and it hasn't worked yet.
Nope. No, it hasn't. Speaking of which, I have to make a note of something that I want to tell you guys that I watched when we get out of here. Okay. Doctor Doom's plan revealed. When Steve and Thor get there, they find that everyone is dead and Loki has had his heart ripped out. Figuring out that Doom is responsible, Steve confronts him and learns the villain's true plan to allow the incursions to happen so he can rebuild the universe in his own image and resurrect his dead family, which we know Doom is obsessed with his mother, right? Trying to
Mommy.
free, yeah, and trying to bring her back from where she's been, banished, or she's a ghost. I don't know, however the different
Whatever.
interpretations.
Doesn't matter.
Says things get a little vague, but Doom takes Steve to his castle in Latveria and introduces his masked followers, one of whom is supposedly impersonating Peggy to manipulate Cap. His presence on Earth 828 is what caused the incursion in their reality, prompting Doom to conduct dangerous experiments that eventually went horribly wrong, killing his wife and child. Okay, so that's what they're referring to, and leaving him disfigured. That's why he's now in the armor and mask. And to make Steve pay, he kills Jim in front of him. As of now, we don't know whether Victor clashed with the Fantastic Four before or after this accident. And this is a photo of the set where Doom and his family are in a lab during an experiment that kills him and damages his body. It says look closely. I can't see, the Russo brothers, I can't see anything like looking closely in this photo. I'm sure there's something, but I don't, I'm hearing it now. I don't need to really see it unless you really want to dissect that picture.
No, I mean, there's just a dude in a chair.
I see a tent. I see some lighting. I don't know. It's whatever.
I mean, there's Batman in the background there or whatever.
Right.
So
yeah. Final battle in Latveria. It says seems Thor's told his fellow heroes about Doom's true nature, and as the Avengers, Fantastic Four, and X-Men arrive in Latveria ready to fight, Thor prays to Odin, who sends an army from Valhalla to join the battle. A war ensues as the final incursion begins. There's no stopping that. Everything is destroyed apart from Doom. When he stole Loki's heart, he stole his powers and now uses them to create. He did, and they had a little child named Battleworld. They resurrecting the fallen, Doom erases their memories and makes it so they only remember his new reality, where they have new lives in this false reality. With that, Doom sits on his throne as the God Emperor of Battleworld. And so that is kind of where the movie.
God Emperor Doom is where they've ended it, so that they can pick it up next with a fallen Silver Surfer coming to kill God Emperor Doom. Right.
Yes.
So that's where that's gonna go beyond that. This is
starting out with Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I mean,
starting the the subsequent movies obviously will change that, but starting out on the bad foot. I mean, this is like starting out with Infinity War first.
Well, no, it's not, because Infinity War was a masterpiece. And,
what I'm saying.
Endgame wasn't great. This is a story that doesn't make any sense, right? So Doom's motivation is not a logical progression of anything that we can understand or is told in this movie.
Yeah.
And so he's going to go through this world and just make his decisions so that we can get to the next plot point. And we're missing whole swaths of story that need to be told. And if they are going to throw in as many freaking cameos as they say they're going to throw in, there you go. Where the hell are they? Because you're just going to go through and you're going to see somebody running by as the universe is blowing up, and they're going to run by and go, nuke it. And so you're going to see these people and they're going to go, we're dead. Oh no, we're dead. And so you have all these people dying, and that's their only cameo is going to be, I'm dead.
I mean, it's, you really said exactly what I was thinking, is that part of some of the story is going to get sacrificed because of all the damn chairs. You know,
Yeah.
all the chairs that they've got to put these people in.
Yeah.
You know, if in fact that they are in Doomsday and those chairs weren't representative of like the next couple movies, which, you know, maybe they are.
Secret Wars is going to be even worse.
I mean,
Even
so,
worse.
you know, it's, yeah, I mean, you know, at this point, I think once people really kind of start to see this, they start to hear about this, and it kind of picks up steam. You know, your general movie going public probably isn't going to come across this or to search for it or read
What?
an article about it.
So once the movie comes out and people realize how much of these plot leaks were real, then people are going to say, "Oh, the plot leaks were real. I'm not going to go see it because
I can
this is garbage."
definitely, I can definitely see that.
And so this movie is not going to do well. It's going to do okay. I don't know that it's going to do well. And so they're going to panic and try to change direction again, but it's too late for Secret Wars. Secret Wars is already on the table. It's in development. They're working on it, and it is utter fucking garbage because they're not even taking the good Secret Wars. They're taking the current modern Secret Wars,
Right.
not Secret Wars, not Secret Wars 2, but like this whole Captain Marvel one that is utter fucking trash. And they're going to try and adapt that. They're continually making the wrong decisions with storytelling because they have lost the fucking plot.
Literally.
And they can't get it back without a hard reset. And this is the movie that's supposed to create a hard reset, but it's not. And you're still so dependent on these people and characters that came before them. You have Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. in this movie. And they're supposed to be gone.
And you know, I think that barring recasting, right? Trying
which they should do.
Yes, but trying to recreate the magic of what came during phase 1 through 3.
You can't force that, and that's what
Right.
they don't understand. It has to happen organically from good storytelling. You cannot manufacture it. Otherwise, it falls apart. Every single time, it falls apart.
Yeah, it's I think in a way, creatively, I think they feel like they almost had to get these names back, to get people back in the theater, instead of starting fresh with new actors and beginning new stories, or adapting other books, other stories. They felt like, look, if we're gonna, we're gonna make a spectacle. It's a spectacle, is what it is, and it's to me has lost, like you said, the plot, but lost the heart of why we liked those movies in phases 1 through 3 in the first place.
Right.
It wasn't just all spectacle. Like there was good writing in most of those films, and they organically
people who cared about the plot, the story.
Yes. And they organically matched up like puzzle pieces. Now, obviously, early in the beginning, that was not the idea. Once that became the idea, they did organically match up, and obviously created the after credits, big time. Like you want, and now everybody stays after every movie practically, even though there's nothing. But yeah, it's gonna be difficult, and with that many stars and that many characters, it is definitely gonna be hard to pull off. And if these leaks are to be true, then I think it ultimately will fall flat. Will it have a big opening weekend? Yes.
Yes.
It's after that, right? Because it's one thing to have a 70 or 50% drop off when the first weekend makes $1.3 billion. Right.
Well, nobody's ever done that.
Well, but you know what I'm saying. Like if the opening weekend is $600 million.
Again, no movie's ever done that.
You know,
I mean, we're talking 100 million or
Oh well,
more
okay,
in the opening weekend.
right.
But
But if you have, my point is that a drop off though. If you
yeah,
have a drop off of
so
significance, it's okay when you've opened huge.
yeah, but
But
it's I don't know that it's going to open as huge as they want it to, and if it does, it will have a 60 to 70% drop off in the following week.
yeah, I mean that, and so if look, I
I
mean,
I
it's
agree.
gonna have a big ass opening. I don't think it'll have the legs.
It will not have legs. Graph,
Right.
it's not a spoiler alert. I think it's been known at this point that they don't know how to manage their own franchise.
It's gonna suck. I love it. I love it. And I was gonna say, um, as far as the Secret Wars where they assassinate Hulk, um, yeah, I mean to me, I think it would have been cool to adapt that, but I think they should have recasted and then lead up into that. Whereas now, if they're going to lead into that with who they've got, my problem is once you get past Tony Stark at this point, once you get past Captain America, once you get past those original Avengers, um, I mean, people are not, they've already proven they're not going to show up to see the other characters. Not
Yeah,
really.
I mean, this is what people know. They know because of the MCU. They know Tony Stark.
Right.
Okay, Tony Stark was Iron Man was not a popular character until this movie came until Iron Man came out. You know,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
and he was not an original Avenger, right? I mean, it becomes later ipso facto he is an Avenger, right? You know, Captain America and Tony Stark, Iron Man, were not popular characters when the Avengers were created. Um, and the Avengers were created at a time where they were trying to bring some books together and tie up some heroes that were not being used for anything else. And they brought them together. And then you get the Defenders, and the Defenders is a totally different character set. And you have these different groups, the Defenders and the Avengers and all this other stuff. And they were to try and bring back characters that were not popular in solo books.
Um,
Okay. And
yeah.
so this revitalization came because of Jon Favreau, because of the MCU and what Jon Favreau created up to Joss Whedon's Avengers movie. And then after that, it was diminishing returns. Now, James Gunn had something hot and entertaining, which is why when they pulled a truckload full of money up to his doorstep, he agreed to come back to make the third one, but he had a story to tell, and he created a loyal following in those people because he did right by those people, and he has a quirkiness to him that allows for a Guardians of the Galaxy, a quirky buddy comedy slash adventure movie, and put an ensemble cast together, and that's what he's good at. He's not good at running the DC universe, as we've seen, and as we will see as his movies continue to fail. And
I mean,
and
he peaked with
there's
Guardians
no
one.
he peaked with Guardians 1. He really did. And there is no fucking way, John Campia, that he's coming back to Marvel because Marvel won't have him, and he won't go back to Marvel because there's no incentive for him to go back to Marvel. He's not going to leave them because of who owns Paramount, and if HBO is under Warner Brothers is under
Oh,
Paramount,
yeah, yeah.
that's a bunch of bullshit. He's going to go where the money is and where he has control, and he's going to stay at DC for as long as they will keep him, and they won't keep him much longer once people start looking into the finances of his bullshit projects.
I think if the DC thing kind of falls apart, then I look at him going into another Brightburn, or adapting some
He's
other
no
unaffiliated
man.
comic.
He's got to go back to Trauma. He's good at Trauma. Leave him at Trauma.
Yeah, I mean it's I just I don't know. I think that there's a certain faction within Marvel that still really loves that dude and what he did in those films that were
But
successful.
that's all he can do. That's it.
I agree, but I could see them saying, "Hey, let's give him another one of these quirky. Let's give him West Coast Avengers. Let's give him,
Okay.
or some whatever,
Well,
right?
maybe. I doubt he
So,
could.
so
No, he couldn't do West Coast Avengers. You know what he could do? 3-star draw. He could do League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
okay, actually, actually, that's not a bad idea.
No, it's not, is it?
That's not a bad idea. I have to say that's pretty good, dude. That yes, I could totally see that. Something like that, but a property that's not affiliated like with these heavy hitters. Like something
He
that's
cannot do a single
niche or
character.
something that's off the beaten path. Give him I don't know if he could do it. Give him a live action Invincible. I don't
No,
know.
no. He cannot do anything besides a quirky ensemble cast
I
comedic adventure story. Right? That's all he can do. That's all he knows how to do. You cannot give him a solo character uh real storytelling, authentic storytelling
right.
with human character development and growth. He cannot tell because every time something happens that's even mildly uncomfortable, he has to throw a joke in there. And that is the Marvel thing that they've done since Joss Whedon, and they don't know Whedon speak, so they fucked all that up, and they thought Gunn knew the key to it, but he doesn't. Because every time you throw a joke at a emotional beat, you distract from that emotional beat. You take away from it. So that character development is now pretty much erased when you throw the comedic beat in there. And
So
then
I
you move
will
on. So his storytelling is garbage
I
for
will
anything but that one thing.
I will say this. I'm curious to see if the Russos, because here's the other thing though, that the risk that maybe you run with this story, with Doomsday, right, is that for movie audiences, it's a dour movie. They're on the back foot. People are dying. There's like, major implications, so to speak. You have a child, right? Number one, you have, look, a family dying in some tragic accident. That's a trope that's been used, right? In so many times in superhero stuff. But, I just wonder if people see this movie and they're like, man, I didn't leave this movie like stoked and can't wait for the next one. Like this was a downer.
If you can't
Watching
come out of the
Spider
movie,
Man, Wolverine, and others, like,
if you don't come out of the movie pumping your fist up in the air saying that was fucking amazing, this movie will fail. And based on the storytelling of this movie, and what's been told to us so far about where it's
yeah,
going,
yeah,
it's not going to end on a happy note. We are resetting the universe. We are destroying everything that you love and trying to move on past it.
right.
And people aren't ready for that. They need good storytelling to continue to buy into a product, to continue to enjoy the storytelling, and then you can tell those offshoot stories where dramatic things happen.
Yeah, Todd, by the time we get to the end of this year when this movie comes out, we'll see if
Yeah.
this movie fits the year, so to speak. I get what you're saying. I do believe though that um,
There are enough movies that are other than superhero movies that are coming out this year that I am so fucking excited for.
and maybe uplifting or
Yes.
hero's journey or
Yes.
like traditional that people are realizing that when they started putting these things in production a couple years ago, year and a half ago, whatever it is, started filming, is that this is kind of what people want, right?
So
Instead
yeah,
of
I agree. There are so many movies coming out this year that I am so excited for that are I think are going to get people rallied around going to see movies again, and this isn't one of them. And these superhero movies that are coming out this year are going to be, uh, you know, thrown away. They're going to be tossed away. People are going to ignore them. They're going to move on, and they're going to gravitate towards these other stories that are being told that are going to gravitate towards, I don't know, human interaction, human idealism. This inspirational storytelling, I think, is still out there and is being produced, and there are several movies this year that will demonstrate that, and they will demonstrate it at the box office. They will demonstrate it into user reviews, consumer reviews,
Right.
not critical reviews, because critics are going to play whatever smarmy bullshit they want to put on top of anything and say, everything's great. Give me more money. Give me more access. I will say whatever's great that you want me to say is great. And those people are going to be found out, and those holes are going to be poked through them, John Campia, and people are going to see what pieces of shit they actually are in real life. And you're gonna find out for yourself, where is the truth lying. The truth is lying in people who are authentic. Authentic is the new currency. Authenticity is the new currency. RK from Robert Meyer Burnett, and he is absolutely right. This is the way of the future. This interactive community that we're talking to right now, you guys here in the chat are amazing, and we love you. And you are what is going to move these storytelling elements forward.
Yeah, I think that the last, especially for Marvel, the last three phases in particular, just regarding just Marvel, I think people, I think people
Done.
have been done with it,
Done.
and it's going to take a lot to really bring the masses back. And I don't think it's that it's superhero fatigue. I think it's bad story fatigue.
Yes.
And I think if they can get down to business and provide what they were providing, then you will bring people back. But as far as other movies coming out this year, yes, like I'm definitely excited. We've mentioned it, and hopefully we'll get some good stories, some uplifting stuff that people do walk out of the theater, and they're stoked about. Godzilla later, I think this year as well.
I can't wait for that one. Godzilla -1 was amazing.
Yes.
Godzilla -0, I think
Yes.
it's going to be pretty good, especially if they keep the budget tight on that. And they stick to good storytelling and they have something to say. There's a lot of potential there.
Grace's Grace's review on Mario 2.
Well, the package on Mario was stunning.
But you do have, at least, you do have another Mario movie, as well. And
my daughter's gonna love to see that.
It's gonna do gangbusters, of course it will, right?
It will do well. I'm excited to see it. The toys look amazing. I love seeing the toys, and they have different scales, and they've got the whole castle thing that's out there. They've got a bunch of toys out in the shelves right now. It's a little bit early, unfortunately, but I think ultimately they'll be on the shelves when the movie's out, and that will be good for Target and everybody else seeing it. Right. The Jack specific stuff and everything else, that movie I think will do well, and I'm happy to see where that goes, like the Sonic movies.
Yeah. I just think that this year we're in for at least some more fun stuff instead of what we've been getting, and hopefully that will get people back to.
I think we're gonna have fun with Mortal Kombat, with Street Fighter, with Project Hail Mary, with Super Mario Brothers, and there's a bunch of other things coming out that I think are really gonna entertain us at the movie theaters and get us to want to go out and see them in the theaters before they hit streaming. And it's not coming from Marvel or DC or Warner Brothers or whatever.
Right. So, man, yeah, we're gonna have some theater going this year. We're gonna have to make some plans. Gonna have to knock some stuff out. That's just how it's gonna be. At least that's exciting. At least for us, anyway. Because it's been a slog sometimes, man.
Yeah,
just some of the stuff and.
That's for sure.
So yeah, I'm excited. I did want to mention really quickly something that I watched the other night. And it's two parts, and you guys will see it here on my list. But the DC is 2024, the animated Watchmen, Chapter 1, Chapter 2 that came out, that is more like the book rather than the movie. I actually really enjoyed it because it follows the book. And
so does the movie.
It to an extent, it changes the ending. It
No,
changes the threat.
if you watch the director's cut, it follows the book almost exactly up until the giant squid thing.
Yes,
And
yes.
I like the way the movie did the ending of it
I get
better
it.
than a giant squid.
I totally get it, but for its time, I get why they did what they did. But yes, I do like the movie also. But I really liked watching this in animated, and it actually has some really good voice actors in that Watchmen animated from 2024. It actually has some good voice acting. I actually liked watching it in that format. I did not care for that motion comic that they did years ago. I thought that was terrible. But this actually, it was fun to go back and revisit and watch it that way, because I've seen the movie several times. You know, like
and if you put it in the context as a motion comic, I thought they did a pretty good job with it because it was a motion comic.
Yeah, it was okay.
And then when you incorporate that into the story, because you've got this kid who's reading the story at the newsstand,
right,
and there's this whole relationship between the black kid and the overweight, fat, white newsstand guy, and their interactions, and the kid reading this comic book every day, and the way they incorporate that into the extended director's cut, throwing all that together in the movie, I thought was really good. And like I said, the only thing that they really changed in that version of it was the giant squid, and I hated the giant squid even in the 80s.
Well, you know what? Then you're a squidist. How about that?
Hey, I love Cthulhu. I love Cthulhu. Don't
you just
tell me
hate the squids in Cthulhu.
No, I hate the squid in that show.
No, I get it. I can see where a lot of people think that it's really stupid and goofy, considering what the subject matter is of the book itself. I don't mind it. It's like, hey, look, what can bring the world together? We're being invaded by aliens, and we're blaming it on Dr. Manhattan because he's able to open up portals, and so somehow, this squid found its way into our world, and so then the world, is like, okay, we got to stop fighting each other. And I like the concept of that and how that is pulled off and how that's done, considering the nature of Dr. Manhattan and what he's able to do, and how to the world that's this unbelievable thing. Just this only person can do this. So to have this extraterrestrial threat, I thought I like that idea of that, because otherwise, it's like,
well, so in the movie, they made it Ozymandias. Ozymandias became the bad guy, and he knew he was going to become the bad guy, and he became the focal point. So it was something more tangible than a giant interdimensional squid coming through there.
I get it. But
it's the same concept. It is the exact same concept transferred over to something that is more tangible and more relatable to everybody in the audience.
But I think that's what makes it more fun, is something that's not super relatable, right? Like it's this extraterrestrial, like completely foreign thing that's introduced as opposed to a guy.
But in reality,
squids don't grow that big.
And well, that's not necessarily true. In reality, all of the existential threats that we run into are broken down into the human element, and Ozymandias was a human element, and that's what we have to deal with in reality. So it brought it back to a more realistic and relatable interpretation of the things we deal with on a daily basis are caused by human frailties.
Sure. No, I get it. I just, for me, the squid, the extraterrestrial threat, it worked for me.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm unfollowing you and Todd C on Instagram from now on. I'm muting you. I'm hiding your posts. Oh my God. But I will say, I did enjoy watching that animation, and I love animation
Yep.
anyway. Like this, My
Yep.
Adventures with Superman. You know, some of the stuff is goofy, but I really did enjoy watching that all the way
So
through.
I,
And
I I
there's the
will
motion
say
comic.
I will say that the TV show Dark Winds is based off of a book series of a 1970s reservation law enforcement organization dealing with things that are happening with that, with interacting with the federal, the FBI, and local law enforcement outside of the res. And it is based off a book series, which is very different than the TV show, but we're still very much enjoying the TV show and the engagement that it's bringing. And they did gender swap a character in this latest season, but I think it works for some of the creepy elements that it brings in. And so I do recommend that if you like
Dark Winds.
Longmire and Yellowstone, that native element to it, but Dark
Okay.
Winds has a somewhat supernatural theme to it, but there's no supernatural like physicality, right? So there's nothing supernatural about it, but they hint at it and they talk about it, and they talk about Native American spirituality in a, I would say, realistic aspect of it, and how it can affect the mind and the body to make decisions. But there's no actual like, hey, here's a werewolf, right? But there are Wendigo, right? In concept,
Yeah.
in this idea of these spiritual things that happen to people. So there's an element of law enforcement and spiritual warfare on a Native American concept level that come together and make good storytelling, which is grounded in reality in the 1970s and the physicality of the world we live in, and not based on the fantastical interpretation of spirituality.
Interesting. What is it on?
It's on AMC. And
Okay.
so whether you have the app or an app, like YouTube TV,
Yeah.
where you can watch AMC type of programming, I think that's how we do it. But Dark Winds is an entertaining show that it's worth a look into, because there's some really interesting things going on there with
And
storytelling.
and it has a Jenna Elfman sighting. Holy crap. Where's she been? Evidently on Dark Winds. It's on Netflix, by the way,
Okay.
as well. So, but yes, AMC. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Dig it,
Yeah,
man.
so the latest series are on AMC.
Okay, gotcha. I know how I hate how they split that up. They do that.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
so
I get it.
Jetta Elfman plays the race, the gender swapped character from the
Okay,
books. So
great.
in the books, it's a male character. I haven't read the books, so I don't know
Okay.
about how that plays out, but I do know that part.
Okay. Well, Dark Winds, and I've heard Silo's very good on Apple TV. I've heard that's
Yeah.
good. I've been told to check that out, so I may have to try that out. But tonight I will be watching the latest episode of Primal,
Nice.
and see. It's
And then
season three is interesting.
we've also enjoyed Monarch, the TV series.
Oh,
It
yes,
it is what it is. And if you like Godzilla vs Kong stuff and you
sure.
like Kurt Russell, go ahead and watch it, because Wyatt Russell and Kurt Russell play different versions of the same character and through different
That's really
timelines.
cool, man. That's actually really freaking cool.
And it is pretty awesome. There's some girl boss stuff that goes on. Season two, hasn't leaned into it as much as season one did. They've actually gone more of the Kurt Russell storyline in this one, and so it's become a little more interesting to me. But still, if you like that world, if you like that Universal, Godzilla monsters type of storyline, it's worth looking into. It is entertaining.
Yeah, yeah. Season one didn't quite grab me.
I get it.
unlike a giant squid. But we'll see. We'll
So
see.
giant monsters didn't, but a giant squid did. So Godzilla and King Kong and Mothra and all these they didn't,
No,
but
I
a giant
love those monsters. I'm a big fan. I
liar.
I was part of the not only was I part of the Kiss Army, I was part of the Kong Army back in the day. So take it for what it is. Yeah, lanterns. We did watch the trailer last week, didn't we? Yes, I
I
can't
think we
remember.
did.
I was like, did we watch it? We'll check it out again as we get
As we
along for that. I'm not excited about lanterns. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, as we get closer to lanterns, we're going to find out. I mean, the trailer just proves they have no concept of how the Green Lantern Corps works at all in any fashion, way, shape, or form, much less how the rings actually work, because the rings choose the person based on will, and then that person is drawn to it. And then to have Hal Jordan be a racist piece of shit who's making fun of a squirrel and clearly has no relationship with Kilowog, his best fucking friend
It's
in the entire
weird.
universe. He doesn't even
Yeah.
acknowledge that he exists. And you can play off that this is a different time frame, which is why he doesn't know about Guy Gardner, because I hate fucking Guy Gardner anyway. But Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan are my two favorite Green Lanterns, and they are butchering them in this trailer and from what I've seen of this TV show. Both of them.
Well, that, and it's just, to me, it's a dumb premise. I don't want to see a buddy cop driving to a small town to solve a weird murder lantern show. Like, that's not what I want to see out of this. And the only thing we got
And
to
that's
even
not what the
see,
lanterns are for. That's
right?
not what Green Lanterns are for.
And the
They're for
awkward scene of him
cosmic
flying.
universal crime, okay? Not local
Yeah,
murders and shit.
this
Okay?
is lanterns on a budget, buddy. And
Yeah,
I
no
think that's
shit.
why they're getting what they're putting out. What we would be getting is because it's like, how do we make this show? How do we do it on a budget?
Yeah.
We're spending, like, for instance, Paramount spending $8 million an episode on Starfleet Academy travesty. So, like, these shows have gotten so crazily expensive. So maybe that's it. It really truly is a budget lantern story. And as Todd sees, the Neil Adams run, yeah, it could be what they're kind of adapting. But I still don't like it. I think it's drab. I think it's very brown and boring colors. It's not vibrant and fun. And I think that's what
Yeah.
people want, is
So
vibrant and fun, not this drab superhero uh,
I love
story.
Hal Jordan and I love Jon Stewart. I love both of them. And they did Hal Jordan so fucking dirty in this trailer. It pisses me off so much. I don't fucking want to see this show.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And because it's later on, but
Yeah.
we did get that trailer, and maybe we'll get some new trailers that shows us maybe a little bit something better. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
We'll see.
We shall see. It's time to
Alrighty,
go,
guys.
kiddies. Yeah, it's the end of the show. I guess as always, Matthew's going to be throwing the Instagram photos up there. He's got, I'm sure, yes, that dude right there, without a doubt. I'm sure there'll be some special stuff coming. There you go. Wings look great. That's awesome. Yeah, good stuff. And then mine's on the way. So yeah, can't wait. But let's get out of here, buddy. What do you say?
All right, man.
But yeah, you guys are great. Really appreciate it always, every week. And I'll be back on Sunday night with another Unfiltered. And I'll remind you guys, Backyard Battlefield tomorrow night. with 3-Star Draw, Crusty Old Crow on 3-Star Draw's channel. Go hang out over there tomorrow night with them, and I'll see you guys probably in the chats. Until next Tuesday, see you guys later. Smash that like button.